For generations, ceiling systems from AMF have stood for quality, ease of installation, and timeless design. With this so-called parallel bandraster construction, AMF ceiling tiles are laid into a metal construction partially visible from below. The system variation I2, demonstrated here, shows tiles with a demountable shiplap, AW long edge detail. All elements in this system are individually demountable. A perfect ceiling is the crowning glory of every room. In order to achieve an outstanding result, you should ensure that the ceiling components are kept clean and dry during transport and storage. The underlying surface should be flat and level to avoid damage. The AMF tiles may only be installed once all plaster and screed works are completed. After the room has been measured, the reflected ceiling plan and thus the visual layout of the ceiling must be decided upon. Starting from the middle of the room, the layout continues in modules depending on the size of the tiles. Please ensure that none of the cut tiles are smaller than half the tile width or length, as the resulting appearance is aesthetically unpleasing. Starting with the layout of the bandraster in the long direction, the layout continues in cross direction. Beginning from the middle of the bandraster, the layout continues in element widths. If the resulting cut tile is less than half the element width, the layout is unfavorable and should be avoided for aesthetic reasons. It's better and more efficient to have a layout with large cut tiles. Now we move on to the installation, where of course cleanliness also needs to be regarded. The perimeter trim is fixed at the required ceiling height. Different perimeter trims can be selected depending on tile type, weight, and format. This in turn determines the minimum installation height, which may not be less than 150 mm. As a rule, corners are usually mitered. For right-angled internal corners, L-shaped wall angles can be butt cut. Depending on the predetermined reflected ceiling plan, the nonius hangers for the bandraster are marked and installed on the soffit with the help of a laser or chalk line. Please pay attention to the relevant hanger centers. A bandraster profile, available in different widths, is used as the main profile. To correctly fit the bandraster to the perimeter trim, suitable wall connectors are available to ease installation. The nonius bottom parts can be fixed to the bandraster by rotating the nonius bottom part. This ensures quick and simple mounting of the bandraster. Nonius bottom and top parts are always connected using 2 security pins. Multiple bandraster can be connected together using splices or connectors. The adjustment to the required suspension height follows. The different hole centers of the top and bottom parts enable precision adjustment in millimeter increments. To accommodate horizontal forces during installation and by later maintenance, alternating cross braces are to be continuously installed. Special nonius hangers are also available for this. The cross brace centers should not exceed 2 meters. Now, the first tile can be laid in the system. Always ensure that the tiles are installed with a suitable reinforcement profile. Several profiles are available. Depending on the system and reinforcement profile, there is a maximum permissible span, which can be taken from the maximum span table. With the first tile, ensure that the long side with the rebated edge is removed. Please also take into account that where appropriate, the cut widths may vary in order for the first row to be in alignment with the bandraster. When handling ceiling tiles, clean gloves should always be worn. All AMF ceiling tiles can be easily cut using a standard Stanley knife. Ensure that the distance between ceiling tile and wall is maximum 5 mm. The remaining tiles are installed with the appropriate reinforcement profiles in full rows. Additional measures are always required for fixtures and fittings, for example lights, spots, etc. Depending on weight, plywood or plasterboard mattresses, profiles or hangers to directly carry the load from the soffit may be required. The maximum cutout size cannot be exactly defined. We recommend a residual width of at least 80 mm and a residual length of at least 200 mm. The use of spring clips makes the cutting of the last tile in a row easier, as the cut must not be so exact. There is nothing to stand in the way of a perfect result. You can find detailed installation instructions and further information online at www.amf-grafenau.de.